Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla.
All right. Good evening and good morning to some of you guys. This is Faith, and you're watching The Faith Factor. I am having another insomniac attack, guys. I'm up again late at nighttime in my thoughts. So I just figured I'd hop on and share with the rest of you. How you like that? Faith gets insomnia, so she goes online. Yeah, so I had a real blast looking at a lot of different live streams on here. Everybody's talking about the Cynthia G, Umar Johnson thing. I jumped on a couple of panels and gave my thoughts on it, especially where it came to that transgender woman that they planted up there and didn't tell Umar at all that it was a he, she. I really thought that was kind of foul. Personally, I went on D. Durrell's panel. He was doing his Sectors Talk television, and he kind of, touched on it. And what I have to say to that is, I have nothing against anyone who's LGBTQ. To me, it's like, hey, do what you like. You know what I'm saying? It's your thing. Do what you want to do, like they used to say back in the day. I don't have no complaints about that at all. But what I will say that I have a complaint about is transgendered men trying to invade real women's spaces. I do have a problem with that. And I think that it's imperative that people become a little bit more vocal, about things that they don't like and that bothers them, because what ends up happening is people will push the limits with you to the point where up is down and down is up. Now we have to basically tiptoe around a lot of things because we don't want to hurt people's feelings. But these very same people, they don't have a problem trampling all over your feelings. They don't have a problem overstepping your boundaries, but they want you to respect theirs. So there's got to be a little bit of a give and take there. I don't think that there's enough of a give and take. So you got these transgendered men, thinking that they have the right to speak on Black women's issues because they feel like women. And I have a problem with that. No matter how much you may want to feel like you are a woman, you're not. Okay, and I'm not going to ignore biology. I'm not going to ignore science just to not hurt your feelings. And I think that's what's going on now. This isn't exactly the topic that I want to talk about, but I wanted to open it up a little bit, with some of the things that I've been seeing, my late night insomniac thoughts here. But that's one of the things that I noticed with that whole Cynthia G. Umar thing. They were kind of foul for that. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and be one to dehumanize anybody. On a human level, I respect everyone. And I just ask that, I get the same basic level of respect in return. But don't ask me to sit up here and pretend with you. That's disrespectful to me. Hey, what's up, Demetrius? Demetrius said people think I'm mean when I call them wannabes. Here's the thing. You're entitled to your opinion. I mean, it is kind of mean, because I don't think that there's any need to go out of your way to name call or be mean. But when they're sitting up here and they're discussing issues with dating in the community, and they want to come at it as if they are actual real women, I got an issue with that because, see, I have people that I associate with, and they're LGBTQ. I have quite a few friends and associates that fall into that category, and I give them respect, and I expect the same in return. But I find it so disrespectful when now they're going around saying that, oh, men can have periods too, and they want to change the Venus symbol on the tampons. That they're just overstepping their boundaries a little bit too much, and trying to invade real women's spaces to the point where it's becoming ridiculous. Like, I don't feel as if I have to sit here and ignore science. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to ignore science. I'm not going to ignore biology, not in order to just not hurt your feelings. So, we have that problem right now as a nation, but it's especially permeating through within the Black community, because Black women, we need to go and get us some business. I think a lot of times we do too much. We're the face of every ridiculous movement that they have out here now. They put a Black female face on all of these movements, and yet they give you nothing. And yet you get nothing in return for being the face and the spook that's set next to the door for all of their movements, being the attack dog for all of their movements. We get absolutely nothing out of it. I don't even know at this point why we're even doing it. But anywho, that's not what I came here to talk about. I was up late at night, um, muling on a whole bunch of things. Technology has really, really changed the dating game. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I had no idea that the dating sites changed so much. I haven't been on a dating site in a few years now. It's been a couple of years. And now it seems as if now the dating sites have evolved where they have these online video chat rooms that people can pay to go into, I guess, or I guess maybe they're free. I don't know. But now the new thing is group dating chats on these dating sites. And the reason how I know about it is because my baby girl's like 23, 24. And so she goes onto the dating sites, and I saw her on there one time. Well, she's here in the house visiting, and I thought that she was just doing a regular group chat, but she's actually in a dating app chatting with a whole bunch of people. And I guess they're doing like speed dating or group dating. I don't know what the hell is going on now. But now, they can video chat in groups amongst each other. And apparently, it's kind of like going to the bar and the guy sees the girl that he likes. See, back in my day, you would go to the lounge or you go to the bar or whatever. And if a guy likes you, he'll send a drink to you. But nowadays, young people, they're not meeting organically like that anymore. They're doing all this new stuff with the online dating and the chat rooms, and they're going on Kendra G's show, or they're going on Melanie King, and they're doing all this here video stuff. And I didn't know, because I just thought it was a YouTube, Instagram thing. But apparently, the same thing that these people are going on Kendra G and Melanie King to do, they can also do on Tinder, sites like BLK. I mean, it's so many damn dating sites that do this now. I had no idea. So now, instead of the guys sending you the drink, from seeing you in person at the bar, now you can be in the video chat room amongst a large group of individuals, and guys are sending women like cyber drinks, cyber hearts, cyber loves, and all this other stuff. And what it really is they're sending the woman money. because they like her. So, you're not doing anything special except for just being in the chat room looking pretty, or, just, chatting amongst the rest of the people. And you may get multiple of these money gifts from other people that are in the chat room that just, are feeling your vibe or whatever. It's just kind of like getting a virtual drink or something. So, I find it to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, getting to the gist of what this whole thing is about, why I'm up late pondering on this, is my daughter was in one of the chat rooms. I'm in the kitchen cooking, and she's sitting at the little island, and I can hear the whole group chat going on. And then, it's just a bunch of young people in there. They're doing their little young stuff. They're talking their little lingo, and all of a sudden, I guess it was a chat room full of 20-year-olds, and some guy comes in there, and he's like in his late 40s, damn near 50. And so he's in the chat room because he sees a lot of young women in the chat room. So immediately he goes in there and he starts throwing his money around, at the young women in the chat room. And so the young women in the chat room, they're thanking him for the hearts. They're thanking him for the flowers. And mind you, I don't know what these hearts and these flowers meant until my daughter sat down and explained to me that, the guys are just, complimenting them with these little, it's like a super sticker. Like here on YouTube, we would call them super stickers. But, they're giving them monetary gifts in the form of stickers. It's weird. It's just weird, But like I said, this whole cyber dating thing has completely changed the game. I mean, they're doing some totally new, totally different stuff now. So I noticed that the younger men that were in the chat rooms talking to the girls, they saw the old guy in there, and so now I could hear the old guy getting flamed up by some of the younger guys. And it was so funny because this older guy thought that he could just go up in there and throw his money around, and he didn't have to, be witty. He didn't have to be funny. He didn't think that he had to have some sort of a personality that would attract the women to him. And so he got eaten alive by those young people. And I'm talking about some of the younger women started joining in on the attack. And it was just, I was like, wow. So I'm wondering now, has the game flipped? Because I remember back in my day, when I was in my 20s, a lot of the younger women, gravitated towards the older guy throwing the money around. I'm just going to be honest. Generation X women of my generation, when an older guy was throwing money around, a lot of the women in my generation jumped at it. But now these younger women having access to more opportunities, and just being able to afford to take care of themselves, basically, it doesn't seem like they're phased by it. They don't seem to be as phased by it as the Generation X women were. Generation X women, we were poor, destitute. Some of us had parents that were on drugs. So we were phased by a man coming and throwing his money around. But this new generation of women, they're not phased by it at all. I'm just going to be honest with you. That dude got clowned in that chat room. And I was so there for it. I ain't going to lie. I was so there for it. Call me an older, bitter woman if you want to. But it felt good to see younger people be able to identify a predatory old man in their midst and put him in his place. It really felt good to see that. And I saw that in real time. And I got to thinking to myself, wow, has time really changed? Have the times really changed so much that now these younger women are just, they're making the conscious decision to date within their own age range now, because that's what I'm beginning to see now more and more. Let's see. Karen Jackson 2009 says the girls be naked online with things inserted inside of them, and the guys control it by paying money and giving them tokens. They go from to room. Is that what they're doing? Well, I don't know, Karen, because this particular site that I saw my daughter on, they were just on there talking. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a different site that you're talking about, but this one that she was on was a dating site. I don't know. I'm out of touch. I don't know what the hell is going on. But oh, Demetrius says, I think that's a different type of room. Okay, yeah, I hope so, because I mean, now I'm gonna have some questions for my baby girl. Like, hey, Karen Jackson told me that these girls be on there naked. Even though I didn't see her on there naked, she was in there in a room where they were just talking with each other, and they were just giving each other, I guess you call them tokens. I don't know what the hell this stuff is. Yeah, so the guys were sending the women the tokens and stuff. And like I said, the old guy came in there and he was just throwing his money around, and he got clowned out of the room. And I felt, I felt like he really deserved that tongue lashing that he got, because young people were communing with each other and they seemed to be having a good time. Oh, Karen Jackson 2009 says they have different dating sites. There's so many. Yeah, I'm out of touch. Yeah, I don't even want to know. I hopefully I'll be out of the dating game for good. I'm in a relationship now that I'm settled in and I'm happy, and I don't even want to know what's out here anymore, because this is just crazy. But I began to ask myself this question about the younger women, older man dynamic, because none of the younger women seem to be impressed with that guy or his money at all. And I know my daughter, she's like in her early 20s. My baby girl's in her early 20s. And she's a teacher. She's like a kindergarten teacher. And she has her own money. She takes care of herself. She doesn't have the desperation, to me, of the women of my generation, where she feels she has to go and be with an older guy. I don't see that desperation as much with the new generation of young Black women. It seems to me like these younger generation of women, they have way more opportunities than we had. Way more. Oh, Demetrius says, I hear dating is rough for Generation Zers. That is, I'm glad I got my gal. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it could be rough for the Gen Zers, because to me, people are not meeting organically anymore. Like I said, my generation, we would go out to clubs. We would meet at bars. We did the whole group thing where we all got together in groups and we took pictures of each other at the club, and we had fun. We met people organically. But now, this the Gen Zers, I don't know, they're having to go to this online thing. And I guess maybe it's changing. It's going to change the game. I think that the way that they're setting it up online, at least with the whole cam up thing, the people get to see each other. To me, it's a version of the party line. I don't know if any of you knew what the party line was, but the party line was something that started back, I believe, in the 80s, where a group of people will just be on a phone call, and it'll be a lot of people on that phone call, or you could just narrow it down to just one person. So it's kind of like that. It seems like the modern day version of the party line. That's what it seems like to me. But I do remember, man, back in the day, a lot of the 20-year-old girls, 15, 16, 17, 18-year olds, they were dating a lot older men, way older. But now I'm starting to see more and more young women, they're becoming vocal about what they want and what they desire. And my daughter, she kind of put it in perspective to me. She was like, "Well, mom," she was like, back in grandma's time, she's talking about my mom, and she said in great grandma's time, she's talking about my grandmother. She said those women had to date older because their parents might have told them to, or that's what they had to do in order to survive, in order to make it. She said, but now, it's different. She was like, we have our own money, we pay our own bills. A lot of times she was telling me about her friends, a lot of the guys that they get with, they're going half on the bills. So she was like, why would you date older and go half on bills with an older guy? She was like, she was like, a lot of these older guys don't have as much money as the younger guys. She was like, so what is the benefit anymore of dating an older guy? And my youngest daughter, she's very, very bright. I have to give it to her, because I never really thought about it like that. There really isn't too much of a benefit anymore for a young girl to date and marry an older guy anymore. There's no benefit anymore, because a lot of these older guys, like she pointed out, they pretty much plateau out as far as how much money they're going to make, and the average black man doesn't make that much money on average. So they're right there with their young counterparts. So I mean, what would be the benefit? You're just getting older peen. So I felt her on that. When you weigh it all out, it doesn't make sense anymore. Economically speaking, women can make their own money. Economically speaking, women are doing, in a lot of cases, much, much better than the men. So there's no incentive anymore for young women to go older. So this is the reason why there's a new movement on the horizon. And I just want to warn you guys, because see, I'm always a little bit ahead of my time with this. I'm always just a little bit ahead of my time. What's up, Tia M? But oh yeah, you older fellas in your 40s and 50s, look out. So this is the reason why you guys are talking about getting your passports. Now it's beginning to really, really start to make sense. A lot of these older guys are becoming frustrated because the younger and more modern generation of women don't need you financially over here. And they're more free to basically decide where they want to go. And a lot of them are not deciding to go with these older guys. And what's really, really standing out to me, because I don't know, these young Gen Z girls, you all, if there's any Gen Z girls watching, why do you guys like these guys with the long hair? There's like a whole movement of you younger Gen Z women. You like these guys with that long hair. I don't get that. I think it's kind of feminine looking, but hey, to each his own. But I'm noticing that the younger generation of women, y'all like them guys that look like Future. I'm not particularly attracted to it, but to each his own. I'm what who am I? I'm just old has been, but call me crazy. But it doesn't seem very appealing at all. What's going on, spiritual Israel? She says, I'm a millennial, 32 years old, and if I become single again, I just don't see myself dating anymore. Dating is too scary to me now. If the relationship doesn't happen naturally, I don't want it. Oh, well, spiritual Israel, you're young. Oh my goodness, 32 is not old at all, number one. And I think that you should just focus on yourself when you become single. A lot of people, when you have like little gaps in between relationships, it's just basically time for you to focus on yourself. And a lot of times when you do that, before you know it, somebody will come along, and you're not even really expecting it. You're not expecting it to happen. So, I wouldn't just rule it out. Just work on yourself when you're in between, you know, relationship gaps or whatever. That's all you can really do. But I wouldn't just give up altogether. Oh yeah, spiritual Israel says, I agree with you on hair. Long hair is feminine. I've always thought long hair was feminine on men. Tia says the same thing. I don't like long hair on men at all. Tia also says a lot of these older men was F boys in the community D back in the days, and chased women and never saved, build, or had inconsistent work, no pension or benefits. Exactly. And that brings me to another point. A lot of these older guys are sitting up here. I forget who it was, but it was some guy online talking about 60 is the new 30. I'm like, oh, in what universe is 60 the new 30? I think a lot of these older men are delusional. They try to say that older women are delusional, and some of us are. I'm not saying that some of us aren't, because there are a lot of older women who are just as delusional as some of these older men. I think that people really have a problem, Gen X especially. The older millennials and Gen X really have a problem with growing old. And we want to sit up here and snatch the youth of a lot of these people that are 15, 20 years younger than us because we don't want to get old. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Yeah, spiritual. They're going around saying 60 is the new 30. And they're also saying dumb stuff like, well, men don't peak until they're 50. No, it's black men that don't peak until they're in their 50s financially. All other groups of men usually peak around 25, 30 because they focused on getting their money earlier in life than black men. Like somebody else said in here, I think that was Tia that said a lot of these older men were F boys in the community. They were community D, community peen. So they spent their days chasing women. They never saved, they never built, or had consistent work or pension or benefits. So Tia is on point with that comment. So now that they have been failures in life, in order to save face for their failures, they'll sit up and lie to the younger generation of men, and they'll say dumb stuff like, oh, well, men don't really peak financially until they're 50. And if you go and pull up the stats, that's only true for black men. And even then, they kind of plateau out at about 45 at a very, very low salary range collectively. And it's because they spent the majority of their youth, like Tia said, chasing ass. They were not chasing the bag for themselves. They were not focused on getting their money at an earlier age like the other groups of men are. They can't walk and chew gum at the same time. They can't, you know, focus on getting themselves together while dating a woman. A lot of these guys spent 20 years laying on some woman's couch. And then when they hit 40, all of a sudden they realize that their life has just passed them by. And all of a sudden at 40, they get some kind of kick to try to do something with themselves. And so that's the reason why they say 50 and 60 is the new 30, because they got to make some kind of justification for why they have been a failure at life for so long, while other groups of men are enjoying the benefits of their labor at 25 and 30. They're talking about 60 is the new 30. Tia says old heads indoctrinated young boys to treat girls bad. And then that old head will sneak around and try to get that young girl, telling her she needs older, mature man. Exactly. But a lot of the younger women are a lot smarter than that. Like I said, my daughter, my youngest, she's very smart, very bright, very intelligent young lady. She said there is no value in dating older anymore. That was something that was valuable for women back in the 70s and the 60s, and then maybe a little bit in the 80s. But when the 90s came, that shit got did it. Welfare reform came. Black women got much more access to opportunities. We started leveling ourselves up. And so we put ourselves in a position collectively as women where we can actually make more choices. We can be selective. Hi, I am pretty damn gangster. What's up? She said, hi, Faith. Grandma always said young fools grow into old fools. Exactly. Exactly. Tia says, definitely there is no value in the older dudes. No, not anymore. Like I said, that's a thing of the past now. Even white women are not going older anymore. There is a new movement now where women are actually able to choose. So now, if I got to pay 50-50 or help you out, with the bills, why would I choose to go 50-50 with somebody 15 and 20 years older than me? There's no benefit to that. And then if you're 20 years older than me and your median income is only 45, 50,000, well, then that means that I have to live wherever you can afford to live if I don't want to pay significant bills. So now I gotta, pretty much take a nosedive in the lifestyle that I want to live. These younger women are saying no to that. And that is the reason why these men are running around angry, beating up women, killing women, talking about getting their passports, because now they have not realized that times have changed and the men have not changed with the times. If you wanted to still have that leverage, you should have been working on getting your financial game up. So now you need to be making 250,000 a year, because young women want to be spoiled. If they got to deal with that big of an age gap, you got to make it worth their while now, because they can actually, everything that you're offering them, they can already do it for themselves. So now what else you got to sweeten the pot? If you can't spoil them, if you cannot increase their lifestyle beyond what they can already do for themselves, they're not trying to hear what you have to say. So now Faith has to come on here and give the PSA, because see, I don't think people are really getting the memo. And now I constantly see article after article, live stream after live stream of these old men
trying to convince young women to hurry up and marry. Pick somebody 20 years older than you. And these young women, the ones that got sense, they're not going. They're just not going. And that's why a lot of these older guys are mad now. I'm just going to put that out there. Tia says, unfortunately, a lot of Black men are in perpetual boyhood. Exactly. They're in perpetual boyhood. They're not trying to grow up. They're not trying to better themselves. They're not trying to build anything for themselves or their families. And the fact of the business is, Black men are losing because they really don't want to be responsible for a woman like that. They want all the benefits of a woman, but they don't want to be responsible for that woman or what comes out of her as a result of him messing with her. Black men have always been like this. So now, women have found a way to benefit themselves. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So, Black men, I'll be the first one to burst your bubble. The competition is not for women to compete with you. The competition has always been for you to compete with what women can do for themselves today. Ooh, wait a minute. Did I say something that went over a lot of your heads? I said men who are sitting here trying to tell women to compete with other women got the game all fucked up. It's not women competing for you. It's you men having to compete with what these women are capable of doing for themselves. That is the new thing now. And if you're not able to elevate her higher than what she can already elevate herself, you're going to lose the competition to a man who can. And this is for all you fellas that are out here chasing the young skirts. And I'll tell you something else that's happening. A lot of older women are starting to date younger. Not as young as a lot of you older men like to go with your women. A lot of you older men will be 50 and you'll date somebody 17 and 18. Like myself, for instance, I'm about 6 years older than CK. So I'm an older woman dating a younger man. There's a new trend of that going on now. There's a new trend. And see, if you guys don't start catching on to the trends early, you are going to be left out. So I always come on here and I have a little something for the ladies, and I also have a little something for the men. Now you can sit up here and call me crazy. You can get triggered. You can get mad. You can say Faith don't know what she's talking about. You can do all of that. And every time I come on here and I say what I say, about maybe 3 to 5 years later, there'll be an article that comes out stating the exact thing that I've been saying. I've been saying that Black men were the ones who were lonely. I've been saying this. 5 years ago, I said this. Now, all of a sudden, here's this article. Men are lonely. Oh, really? Wow. Why did I not know that? I knew that already. Now I'm predicting younger women having more options They're not going to choose you old men anymore. You're not going to be able to just simply throw a few dollars around and get these women to jump. Now, we're always going to have poor women. The poor are always going to be amongst us. You're always going to have young women with low self-esteem problems, and that's the thing. And it's kind of predatory. It's not even kind of predatory. It is predatory. But I know a lot of young women that have dated older because the older guy worshipped her because of her youth and because she was not considered select in comparison to women her own age and being able to attract men in her own age group. She was more open to dating older because the older man made her feel beautiful. You got that going. So, this is what's going to end up happening. There's going to be a lot of predatory activities out here because the younger, confident, and more select women are going to go for what they want because they don't have to choose the latter. And so now these older guys are going to be getting the less appealing, less select. And I hate to put it that way, but hey, water seeks at its own level. Don't hate the person that's explaining the game to you. You got to hate the game. I'm just a messenger. Demetrius, I am 1,000% sure. And let me tell you about these college girls that you're referencing. These are women who are on the come up. So while in college, and I have a little niece, okay, and she's like 22. She's in college, and what they do is they go out with the older men. They may even sleep with the older men, but it's only temporary until they get to where they want to be. Now, once these girls get themselves secure in their career, and they no longer have to, go that route, they let these guys go. And I see that all the time. So it's a little bit of usury involved, but they're using each other. It's short term, but that's what you're looking at with the college girls. It's not anything where somebody wants to get married off to these older social security benefit receiving men. These guys in their 50s and 60s that's getting a veteran's pension or a social security pension. These young girls don't want that for the rest of their lives, and they find these guys quite boring. And I'm just telling you what they've been what they've told me. Exactly, Tia. They're using each other. The relationship is conditional. So there won't be no submission. There's no admiration. There's just simply transaction. That's it. The young woman is still attracted to what she's attracted to. And like I said, it seems like they like these little young thug looking, long dread hair wearing, future and young thug looking. I never understand. Like I said, hey, to each their own. But that's what they seem to be attracted to. I'm just paying attention. Oh, Tia said meant to say sugar daddy. Oh, Demetrius says I meant in respects to people their age. They get passed when another gal come near. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a lot of butt kissing. um there's going to be a lot of butt kissing going on because now black men have pretty much alienated every woman that they had a chance of dealing with. They told the older women that we were bitter and jealous of our daughters and all this other stuff, and now our daughters are capable of getting their own bag. Our daughters are in a position where they can actually choose men they actually want to be with. And so now these older guys are going to be left holding their nuts. And there's going to be a lot of begging. There's going to be a lot of ass kissing. There's going to be a lot of that going on. I'm just reporting the news. So winter is definitely, well, hell, it ain't coming. It done came for black men. But a lot of them are too dumb to realize that winter has come for them. They're still going to be up here with the delusion. They're still going to be putting up live streams trying to convince young girls to hurry up and get married because of some invisible benefit that doesn't really actually exist. And they're going to think that these young women are dumb enough to fall for it. And I'm starting to see that they're not. And older black women definitely had nothing to do with it, by the way. These young women are just not dumb. They're just not as dumb as a lot of people think they are. So anyway, I just had to come on here. Y'all know, I don't know what it is, around 10 o'clock at nighttime, 11 o'clock at nighttime. I always get this insomnia, little rush of insomnia, can't sleep. I usually start winding down around 11:30, 12 a.m. ish. So tonight is no different. Tia said these older men have Peter Pan syndrome. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. They don't want to grow up. And it's quite disgusting. And really and truly, they're outing themselves for being the perverts and predators that they are. And now they're just looking like the weird old guy in community chats trying to talk to young girls. Like I said, my daughter, when I was in the kitchen, I overheard these young people going off on that 50-year-old guy for being in a chat room with these 20-year-olds. I was just like, wow, go ahead, young people. Run the predator off. These young people do not want your old 50 and 60-year-old behinds in their dating spaces. Black men, your sons are saying that they want their dating pool back. Black men, your sons are trying to tell you that they want their dating pool of women back. And see, I understand that some of you were Generation X and older millennials, and some of you older guys that are my age now and older, you grew up watching the older guys get with me back when I was in my teens and 20s. Because, like I said, the women of my generation did that. You know, we were on some desperate whole shit. And that's the reason why you'll still see women of my generation with no type of dignity whatsoever begging online. Okay? The women of the Generation X and older millennial generation, we be on some desperate whole shit. I don't care who gets mad at me, but you look at most of the women that be online begging, and they're old motherfucking bitches. Marquise, we done talked about these older men and how they about to get pushed to the side because times have changed. The younger women are not like the women in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s. These younger women have options and they have more opportunities. They're paying their own rent, they're getting their own bag. They don't need your money anymore. So now, if you're an older guy and you're in your 50s and 60s, you're not competing, not even with younger guys. You're competing with that young woman's ability to do things for herself. And you are competing with whether or not you can actually elevate her higher than she has even elevated herself. And a lot of you old guys aren't able to do that. So now young women are saying, what is the benefit of being with somebody 15 and 20 years older than them? And like I said, the Generation X men, men of my generation, and the older millennial men, they grew up watching women of my in their generation, like myself, date the older guy. But the women in our generation, like I said, they was on some desperate hoe shit. Times have changed. These younger women are not on that desperate hoe shit like that. You'll see some, but for the great majority of them, the great collective of them, they're not on the same desperate hoe shit as Generation X was. Exactly, Marquise. That is why the dudes are going overseas because you're not going to get the Gen Z women over here to be on no desperate hoe shit. You got to go get some desperate hoes in order to get desperate hoe treatment. Oh, thank you, Marvell. He said you look too fine to beg at the Faith Factor. Thank you. No, but I mean, desperate whole shit was happening back in the day. I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of desperate whole shit happening. So because you all saw the older what they call it, baby boomer generation snatching up women of my generation and the older millennial generation, you guys saw those old men dipping into your dating pool. And a lot of y'all had to sit back and wait for the old guys to get done messing up the women in your dating pool, getting them pregnant. I feel for you because that's exactly what happened. The older baby boomers messed up the Gen X women. They sure did. And so now you all are sitting up here, old men yourselves, and you're thinking, okay, shit rolled downhill. My father messed up my dating pool. Now I get to mess up my son's dating pool. But there's a twist. The Gen Z women ain't going. And so now you're mad. They're able to sustain themselves here. They're able to decide who they want to be with, really. So now you're mad and you're going to go get your passport. And the Gen Z women don't even care about you getting your passport, by the way. Because now, with the dating world being so ginormous and people having access to more people than they've ever had access to before, it's like there's a metaverse of men out here that these women can meet. And even the most lowly of women have a full inbox. So the dating world is shifted over to the woman's favor now. So you can go get your passport, but these women are not lonely. They're not ever by themselves. Ever. Marquise 912 sent the $5 super sticker. Thank you so much, Marquise, for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and give Marquise his round of applause. I really appreciate it. Matter of fact, I'm going to give him, where's my dancing guy? I like that dancing guy. All right, all right, all right. Let me stop. I'm having a little bit too much fun here with this stuff. Thank you so much, Marvell. Thank you. Another super chat, super sticker, $2. Thank you, babes. Thank you. Marquise 912 said, let's be honest, them foreign dudes ain't going for American women's attitude. Well, the thing about it is, it's not the American women that are going anywhere talking about getting our passports. And if we have, we're not really going online bragging about it. We're not even really pressed about getting a foreign dude. I'm damn near 50. I'll be 50 in about 3, 4 more years. Inbox stay full. I go outside, but that's because I jog and take care of my body because I need to stay healthy. And I have all manner of men coming on to me. So it's just kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but women, we are never really without a man, whether it be for companionship, whether it be for sex. We're not pressed like that. Not at all. And see, I try to explain it to the great collective of men what it's like to be a woman. If you're a halfway decent woman, you're always going to get male attention, no matter what your age is, unless you let yourself fall off. What's that YouTuber name? Nyla Says. She's a grandmother. Have you guys seen the recent pictures that she posted of herself on her community tab? She's a smoking hot grandma, right? Smoking hot. If her and Taz weren't together, I don't think she would have a problem. I'm just saying. And this is what the new grandmas look like. This is why I said, black men, you guys are going to get left behind if you don't elevate your thinking from the 1960s. Every time I hear black men talk about relationships, they're talking about some old stuff. They're either in the 60s or they're stuck in the 80s or they're stuck in the 70s or they're stuck. The point is you guys are stuck. Grandmothers don't look like grandmothers used to look back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Big mama got a small waist and a big ass. Big mama ain't round anymore. Matter of fact, big mama gone. Now you got hot mama. You got glam mama. Marvell 318 said, I think you and Nyla are neck and neck beauty wise. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, I think Nyla's a very attractive woman. Honestly. So what I want you guys to do is you're going to have to elevate your thinking a little bit. You're not going to convince these young women that they're not experiencing what they're experiencing. And that is freedom that they did not see their mothers and grandmothers having. Opportunities that they did not see their mothers and grandmothers have. You're not going to convince them that they're not able to take care of themselves when that's exactly what they are doing. They're going to laugh you out the room and call you a liar. What's up, Mr. Samuels McFadden? He says, howdy. Where you from, Mr. McFadden? He going, howdy. Black men, you got to get with the new times, is basically what I'm saying. Think in terms of what is going on right now. And then get in the game, get in the competition. If you want to win, you're not going to win by getting mad. You're not going to win by trying to shame women into getting with you, or lying to these women, or trying to finesse the women. And that's the other thing. The whole pimp game is dead now, because women don't need a pimp to make money on OnlyFans. She don't need you like that. Samuels McFadden from New York. Welcome to the Faith Factor. These women are on some high level shit right now that you guys are going to have to try to understand. I know you don't want to, but you're going to have to try. You're going to have to meet Black women where they are now. You can't meet them back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, because the Black women that you guys want weren't born then. The Black women that you guys want were born in the 90s and the early 2000s. And now they're in their early 20s or late, I would say early 30s. Tia M says the pimp game been dead. Darling is dead. The new hustle for Black men is exploiting Black women. Exactly. And even that is starting to fall on its face, because the more we have access to the internet, the more information is being exchanged amongst people. People are getting gamed up online. So now there's no more finessing. Your finessing days are over. Now you're in the age of show me the money. The word and the deed have to go hand in hand now. You're not going to be able to finesse anymore. That's dead. So now you guys are going to actually have to compete with other men financially. And you're going to have to compete with that woman's ability to take care of herself. Because you got to make it worth her while to give up her freedom. You got to make it worth her while to see a 15, 20-year age gap as being worth it. Because she's already doing these things for herself. I had a thought earlier. I kind of lost it. But it was somewhere along the lines of older men wanting to groom the younger women. But there was definitely a point that I wanted to make with that. The whole grooming process only works on weak women. I don't think that there's too many weak women anymore. Now, black women, we have been the most empathetic and sympathetic, and we know how to love. We know how to give to our community, and we have loved black men. I'm going to tell you how you men have destroyed that love and you turned it into bitterness and hatred towards you. Everything that you all have been doing is now backfiring on you. And you're creating these angry, bitter women that don't like you, don't respect you. They don't want to listen to you. They don't want to be led by you. They don't trust you. And you have to take some responsibility for that. You're going to have to take some responsibility for that. Because like I said, black women, I've known women that used to take black men in. You have one black man laying on the couch, another one laying at the foot of the bed, another one laying at the head of the bed. And they ain't got nowhere to live, nowhere to stay. Now, she's not fucking all of them. She's not a hoe. But she had a heart to help them. A heart. And you know what these guys did in return? They said to themselves, I'm in control. This my bitch. That's what they said to themselves for this woman taking them in, giving them shelter, feeding them, and trying to help them get on their feet. They said to themselves, I got this bitch trained. She going out there working. She let me have the car. She think I'm using the car to go look for jobs because that's what she really giving you the car for. She allows you to drop her off at work, and she's thinking that you're out looking for work. So she let you have the car. This is why I said black women have always been loving and giving and nurturing and trying to help black men. And because you all said to yourselves, you're a pimp. You pimping this hoe. Yeah, I'm not just laying on her couch. I got this bitch trained. She go out, make the money, pay for me to be here on this couch while I'm playing video games, fucking with the kids. I got this whole train. And it's that mentality that destroyed the black woman's love for you. Because she was just trying to be good to you and she was just trying to help you. And this is what you thought of her. And so when this young woman woke up, because a lot of us did this when we were young, when we were in our 20s, a lot of us did this. We helped somebody that didn't deserve it. And that person showed us their ass. Now, there's a lot of people that's going to be triggered by this story, but it's true. There's a lot of women that's not going to admit that they did something like this. But it's true. And this is what made you bitter because he took your niceness for weakness. I'm just going to put it out there. And so when you begin to realize that he thought he was a pimp, and when you begin to realize that he was telling the whole neighborhood you was a hoe, you was his hoe, when you begin to realize that he was running your reputation into the ground, you woke up and put that nigga out. Didn't you, black women? And that's where Cynthia G and Nyla gets the three trash bag carrying analogy from. This is the apex of that. The awakening of the black woman that throws a bum ass nigga off her sofa. I could drop the link if y'all want to come up, but let me just get this off real quick to you. I'll drop the link. But yeah, this is the awakening of the black woman that throws a bum ass nigga off her sofa. And so now he's out there with his three trash bags. She done made you look like a fool because you told your boys how you had pipped her out. You got this hoe in check. She do what you tell her to do. She take care of you. You ain't. That's the reason why you ain't gotta work. You came up with all these excuses as to why you a bum ass nigga, and you called it pimping. You called it pimping, but in reality, you weren't a pimp. You were a bum. You didn't really want to tell your friends what it really was. You're a bum ass nigga sleeping on this woman's couch. And she showed you exactly what you were running when she kicked your ass out of there. That's what happened. And now, because you got to go back and face your friends and be clowned and laughed at behind this, now you're mad. So now when a sister get off of work and she's just casually walking home, here your bum ass is want to start a fight with her in the middle of the street. You want to jump on her, beat her up, throw her in the dumpster, kill her, and you want to blame her for your shortcomings because she woke up, but you never woke up. So now this is the reason why we got this bum rebelling, because a lot of black men, y'all didn't want to wake up. You're still stuck in the 70s and the 80s with this whole pimp mentality that you going to put a hoe in check. But you ain't got nothing in check. You ain't running nothing but your mouth. And so she showed you who's God. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead because Tia asked for the link. Let me go ahead and copy this. I'm gonna drop the link on into the chat room. I might go ahead and stay up a few more minutes. So if anybody wants to hit that link, come up and give your thoughts on what you've heard thus far. You are free to do so right now at this time. All right, the link is down there. At a oh, he says I'm GTS. Good night. Demetrius said, "Nah, he ain't gonna touch that link." All right, there go my girl Tia. Hold on a second. Let me get you up here, Tia. I'm gonna wait till you turn your camera off.
You.
All right. Hey, what's up, lady?
How you doing, darling?
Girl, I got insomnia. I'm just up
I know, me too.
spilling my little beans, girl.
I hear you. I don't sleep well at all either. I just wanted to expound on what a lot of what you said. Everything you said was so valid. And I want to give you a quick story. I know you're gonna go to sleep soon. I'm not gonna hold you up. I had a friend. He had at least 6, 7 baby moms, and when I tell you, Faith, he had a keychain with like every girl's key on his chain, and he's a Generation X. He was a Generation X. He passed recently, and he's like late. He passed. He was in his late 50s, and He's never had a driver's license, never had a job, and had keys to all his children's mother's home, just about. And he would drive their cars. They would buy him clothes. They would take, and because he was one of those, street pharmaceutical people, as you know, street pharmacists back in the day. And what I said earlier about them, the Peter Pan syndrome and the perpetual boyhood, they never grew up. And they looked, they blinked, and they realized, oh, I'm an older man. It's too late. You didn't inquire acquire a job to get a 401k plan, a pension, social security. And it's a lot of dudes that are running around here like that. That are I'm a Generation X. I'm a Gen Xer too, and it's a lot of them. They just didn't do what they were supposed to do. They never, like, let me get my credit, because I know some guys that were and a lot of them was in and out of jail. That's another thing. A lot of them did bids in prison and stuff like that, but they never got it together. So by the time then they blinked, they're in their 40s, in their 50s, and they become angry, curmudgeony, angry bird, gremlin incels. And like you said, they're femicide, they're unaliving us every 5.5 hours. They're attacking us in the streets because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. They never did it. They were F boys, they were community penis, they were all those things. And then they have the nigger audacity to be upset with us because they didn't do what they had to do. You know what I mean? They didn't take care of their responsibilities. Even some of these girls they make fun of and say, oh, she a baby mama, she a welfare queen, a Section 8. A lot of those chicks, Faith, got their shit together and got jobs and went to school and got it together. And it's so sad because it's not just the Gen Xers, but the millennials and some of these Z's. They're not going to put, some of the Z's maybe, and maybe a little bit of millennials, but a lot of them are not going to put the work in. They're not going to put the work in to improve themselves, to better themselves, to get it together. They're not going to do it. They're not going to put the work in. And when they do it, even the younger ones, the millennials and Z's, they're not doing it for black women. Because the minute a brother gets a $5 raise, he upgrading to a Puerto Rican. And if he get a $10 raise, oh, he going to Beckyville.
Absolutely.
And it's sad, and like you said, the old heads, they're angry because they saw, like you said, the baby boomers are quite being able to snatch up us Gen Xers, but they actually came from where they had porter jobs and sanitations. They were in the military. They had things to where they had pensions and stuff, and the cost of living was a little less. So you could snatch up a younger girl, a Gen X at the time. So they're looking at it. They can't snatch up one of these millennials. They can't snatch up one of these Z's. These girls are trying to, like you said, the awakening. They're trying to have standards, boundaries, and expectations. They're saying, listen, I went to school, I got it together. I came from the same hood, the same projects. This, even if you came from a middle class family, I've pulled myself up from the bootstraps. This is black women, whether they're Gen Xer or millennials or Z's. We all pulled up ourselves from our bootstraps, and we did it. Why can't you? But they don't want to. They're resting in their femininity. A lot of them want to be kept. A lot of them want to be taken care of, and it's lost. So I don't know what's going. And now you have these Gen Z dudes. They're young, and they learned from the millennials and the Xers, all the successful black men that was in the that that was famous and in the public eye. They all went and got preferences, so they don't even want to deal with Gen Z's. So it's like black Gen Zers. So it's like lost. Like, it's not gonna. There's no reset. There's no coming back from it. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean,
Well, you know what, and you're right. There's not going to be a reset, but I think that there's not going to be a reset for the Gen Z men. I mean, not the Gen Z, the Gen X men. There's not a
right. Okay. Oh no,
reset for them.
it's over for them. They diabetic, diabetes, heart disease. Most of them one foot in the ground. Most of them are homeless right now. They're in men's shelters. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to demean them. It's just reality. It's been over for them because they didn't do things when they were younger that they should have done. A lot of them, like I said, they were in the streets. A lot of them because it was lucrative in the 80s and 90s at one point to be in the streets. I mean, were you going to work in a job at McDonald's for 3.35 an hour, or you going to work, or you going to make 335 an hour being a street pharmacist? So a lot of them just, and they didn't take it seriously. They didn't take the post office jobs, the sanitation. They didn't realize, hey, I'm gonna get older, and I'm gonna need to be able to take care of myself and my children or whatever. There was a live with another content creator, and the guy, he said he worked in these shelters with these men, and he said the men had the mentality, these Gen Xers, of they're only accountable for themselves. They don't feel they're responsible for anybody, even if they've created children, and they just didn't have the tools, and now they're angry and they're upset. So they're like, whatever little money they can scrape up, they want to go. They want to go somewhere where they can have control, and they feel these women are living in underdeveloped countries, so they'll be appreciative of any little bit of money, but that's not the case. And most little
No,
girls,
it's not the case because see
and they're
the
prostitutes.
internet is undefeated. Like what these guys don't understand is those women in those other countries, they have access to internet too. And they talk
Mhm.
amongst themselves.
Yes.
They're using these men as marks as soon as they get out there. They will most definitely get robbed or
Yes.
used or
Yes.
gamed when they go out there.
Yes. Set them up. They get set up, and they
So,
can't
you
afford
know,
to bring them back. Faith.
mm-mm,
No, no,
they
but you.
don't, they, very few of them come back with wives.
Yeah, they're sleeping with prostitutes,
Hmm.
and then
Or underage
I
children.
was about to say that exactly. That a lot of them are seeking that. I was. It was about sometime last year. I don't listen to Kevin Samuels, but it was very interesting. I wanted to hear what he had to say about something. So the comment section is very telling, and the guys in his comment section was talking about it was those passport bros. He was still alive at the time. They were saying, "Oh, go to Africa, go to South America. You can get you a 12 or 13-year old," and nobody corrected him really. Then another guy, he said, "Yeah, yeah, you would get them. You go out there and get them." And one guy was like, "Well, his response was, oh." You can't bring them back. It's too expensive to bring them back. No one's saying, "Hey, this is wrong. No, this is inappropriate." And only one guy got on. I think I took a snapshot of it. I can't remember. I think I did. And only one guy had sense and said, "Dude, y'all can't talk like this on the internet." And those messages was already about 5 6 months old. So it shows you they don't even like to read. So of course a lot of Gen Xers and even some millennials, they won't do well because they won't even. Why didn't you read? A guy just sent you a message. Don't say these things on the internet. They didn't even take it off. So now it's there forever. You guys having conversations about being with 12-year-olds and 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds in other countries. It's like they don't even have this discernment and foresight to say, let me take this off, this don't look good. Anyway, my point I'm trying to say is, yes, they want underage girls, or they're going with prostitutes, and they're getting, like you said, robbed, set up, and they're coming back, and they're not going to come back to a lot of money, and they're broke. And it's like using their last bit of pennies to go out there to feel. And what they could have done if they just did what they were supposed to do, the Gen Xers, the male Gen Xers, black male Gen Xers, if they did what they, again, like I said, if they did what they were supposed to do, they would be in a better position. But
But
there
see,
are some.
instead of the Gen X men telling each other to get their passports, the money that you're saving to
Yeah,
go out there to trick off, why not invest it?
right, right. There's high risk, low risk stocks. You could do stuff. There's things. There's a lot of, if they seek higher education, like not as college because it's too late for, but probably too late for them, but like, hey, seek someone who could say, hey, how can I take this little $4,000 I have, or this 5,000, this 10,000 I have, how can I flip this? How can I make more money? How can I reinvest it? And to make sure that I have a nest egg, and maybe I could improve on. A lot of them, Faith, are walking around with missing teeth in their mouth. Teeth are orange.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they look disheveled. Some of the brothers in our age, they got rings around their eyes. They look 18 months pregnant. You know, some of them just look worn out. From probably you
But
know
they're
they,
online telling young women in their 20s to overlook all that, though.
yeah, they are. And they got a bad knee, bad back. Been th- they're breaking down because they never settled down. They never let a woman really truly love them. They took advantage of women, but they bounced the house to house because after a while, women, they'll put up with some shit, excuse my language, some shit for a while, but eventually they're gonna want you to step up to the mantle of manhood and adult. And when that happens, that's when they're out and they go to the next woman. And they did that for years. And like I said, they blinked, they closed their eyes, they woke up and they realized, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s.
Right. They
My
don't start getting serious until they're in their 40s and 50s. And then they turn around in order to justify their being a loser for so long. Now they're running around talking about some, oh, 60's the new 30. No, no,
most of y'all not
you don't get no get back. You know
first no, first of all, Faith, first of all, most of y'all gonna not gonna make it to your 60s. Let's be honest. A lot of
that
them not. They have a
that
lot of
part.
black men have the highest rate of diabetes, high blood pressure. A lot of them were smokers, like they smoke cigarettes. They're not living, and then they're not gonna have a quality life in their 60s. They
No.
limping. They already. I mean, they're limping. They only have their own teeth in their mouth. Their eyesight is gone. Like you're not even in the best shape. And medically, it's been proven. It's factual. When women get older, their sexual desire raises. I mean, I can't articulate so, but black men, their sexual potency, their sexual virility decrease as they get older. So by the time they're in their 40s, 50s, I'm not saying none of them, but it's not the same as when they were younger. Women our age, we more sexual and more.
Yeah,
What's the
and you know
what's the
why that is?
Yeah.
Because as women age and we're going through menopause, on the
Right.
way out of being fertile, we
Right.
become extra fertile. And
Yes.
so in that extra fertility that we experience, we are hypersexual on top of that. That is nature's way of making us want to, bang out that one last kid before we before we lose it.
And not even the kid. I think it's also hormonal levels too. Like you said, that whole menopausal. We're going through the change, so it makes us hornier. And then their sexual. I can't think of it. I guess it's late.
that
They're
that that erectile dysfunction.
right. They start heading towards that. They start even in their 40s and 50s. They're starting. Their sexual, their sexual I can't really tell you, but like they it goes downhill for them, and even they know it. I was watching a podcast with some brothers, and they was like laughing, like they were pissed. Like, wait a minute, um, our our sexual how our our ability to please a woman decreases as a woman, as she get older. It increases for her. She still can get excited and whatever. So my point is, it's like everything goes downhill. So it's like so late for a lot of these but they're not, and you have some desperate women that will take a man because they just want the status of having a man. And all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
when they get that age, 40, 50s, they're our age, and now they want to marry a woman. Now you want to marry because they're homosexuals. They need a place to stay. They need someone to take care of them. And then the sad part is like they want you to take care of them, but you never really loved these women. You never cared about them, and you're settling because you want someone to, you know,
Take care of you.
take
Yeah.
care of you. Yeah, and
And like you said, they'll find some desperado that'll sit up there and do that.
I'm not one of them, honey. I rather Die alone with the cats. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We'll bring on the dogs. That's
But
what I say.
let me tell you, I got a little friend, a little maintenance man. He's much younger than me, and I'm okay.
That's
I'm
what I
happy.
was. That's what I was just saying. A lot of the older women, we're getting men that are younger than us now.
Right, yeah. And I don't expect to have. I'm not gonna have a family with him for obvious, obviously. But he does my maintenance. And he does a good job. You obviously protect yourself or whatever. But I get in maintenance, and I don't need you. I don't. I don't. I have my own place. I've lived in the same place for many years. My bills are paid. I'm good. I'm Gucci, and so and I got a younger guy. I don't even look at older guys. Not even because I'm not attracted, because I am attracted to guys in my age group, some of them, but a lot of them, if they're not married already, they're obviously off limits. If not, they don't have nothing to. It's like I don't want to be your nurse. I don't want to take care of you. There's nothing for me to do with you. I
Yeah, the
don't.
guys in my age group, I find that they really have not taken care of
They
themselves,
haven't. They
and
really haven't.
and their mentality is all messed up.
Oh yeah, they're mental. Yeah, a lot of them have mental health issues. A lot of them, their whole way, and they're so angry. They're bitter. They're angry. They're upset, and they seem like I bumped into people I went to school with, not too, and like they're looking horrible. They're looking at me. They looking like, wow, you look phenomenal. Trying to talk to me. Hey, maybe we could. And I'd be like, oh no, I'm seeing someone. Even if I'm not seeing someone, I would never date you.
Mm-mm.
I don't care. You was the man back in the days, but you done made all these babies. You done been in and out of the system, or if not, you were just chasing everybody. You was a f boy. You were a community deep a penis guy. So I mean, why would I want you now in your at your worst,
Well,
right?
Tia, like I said earlier, there's going to be a lot of begging.
Oh
There's
yeah,
going to be
they
a lot
already
of
doing it.
ass kicking because I mean they're already doing it.
They
Just
been
like
yeah,
I got a guy now that I was dating. I kicked him to the curb because he was a fuck boy,
yeah,
like you say, he a f boy.
yeah, yeah,
And there's a lot of begging, a lot of
right.
ass kissing going on in the DM.
Yeah, it is. It is because they're desperate, and it's like this is cuffing season, right? Winter time, they always come around, and then lot, remember, about, and then in the summertime, everybody break up because they want to go out and sleep with everybody. These dudes realize like they on borrowed time, and they have to get with
Mm-hmm.
someone. So now you're gonna see a lot of performing like and love, performing. Oh, I just want a wife and settle down, but they don't have nothing to do. And I see guys my age. Some of them there's some that actually do take care of themselves, go to the gym. They're not in too bad of a shape, but a lot of them have shape. They got women that are their age or a little older that are taking care of them.
Mm-hmm.
They are being taken care of. They driving her, like you said, driving her car.
But
They
see, they're dealing with the what do you call it? The baby boomer women now.
yeah,
The guys our age, I see them. They're over there, being sugar babies to
yeah,
these 60-year-old women.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, they are. They are sugar babies for them. These women are taking care of them. These women have, retired, got pensions, they got homes. They do, and it's yeah, and they going and some of these women just want the companionship. They don't want to die old alone, because but a lot of these dudes, sometimes they still trying to get a side chick. It was so funny, Faith. I was outside not too long ago, and this dude, he wasn't dirty or crusty, but he was in a wheelchair, and he saw me. He said, "Oh, you so beautiful." Blah blah blah. He's my age, but this dude is in a whole wheelchair, talking about, "Oh, can I get your number and take you out?" But obviously, I was nice and I was kind. So, "Oh, that's so sweet. Actually, I'm seeing someone," which was the truth. But my mind is like, "Look at you, and I'm not trying to knock someone that's in a wheelchair. And he don't look like he was like he had some kind of physical disability all his life. He looked like he just got in that wheelchair, like he had some kind of ailment. This is probably, some kind of bad back, knees, maybe diabetes or whatever. And I was just thinking in my head, and I'm not knocking people who are
Girl,
in
it's most likely drugs.
right, but he didn't look it. He was actually clean cut, or at least he cleaned up. His teeth was
Girl,
white.
you got to come out here.
These guys be on drugs, and some of these women too. They walking around looking normal.
Right, right.
And I'm
And
sitting up here like, this is the other new thing too. The normal looking pill popper, meth head, crackhead.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I need you drug addicts to look stanky and funky again.
Like
Make
yes.
make drug addicts stanky and funky looking again, please.
Yes. So we can identify them, right?
Right.
Yeah, because he did, and but I said like you really they're so they feel like they're so entitled to us, and that, and I really do think they think most black women are desperate because I'm thinking like I'm looking nice, I'm dressed, I look cute. You really think that I'm going to like date you, like not to demean, like I said, not to demean someone, but it's just like he looks like he probably was that dude in the days, that f boy, that playboy, and now you're at your worst, and you think that I would hook up with you? Come on, you're
All
at your
right.
worst. You're at
Oh,
your
and
worst.
shout out to Diamond and Pearls down there in the chat
Yeah.
room. Girl, you came in late. We had a real good discussion earlier.
Hey, Miss. Hey, ladies. Yeah,
But you're
but
right. You're absolutely right because like I said, these guys are going to end up missing the boat. But you know what? The Gen X and the older millennials, y'all. I'm just gonna tell y'all right now, y'all done. You
mm,
talking about the wall being undefeated? Women
right.
my age are now dating men younger than us because we do not
Yes.
look like the grandmothers of
No.
our time
No,
at
we don't.
all. And so now you all have been relegated to dating our mothers. That's
Yes.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Now the sugar mamas, those are the baby boomers.
Yes.
The Gen X women, we're not the sugar mamas. We're
No.
not the big mamas. We are the
No.
glam mamas.
I think
This
the
this
yeah,
this is the generation of the glam mamas over here.
exactly. A lot of us that were born in the 70s and even the early 80s are looking fabulous. To be honest with you, a lot of them, are, they're looking good. We're on trend. We're not too trying to be too young, but we don't look old. I dress a certain way that I mean, I'm on trend. I look cute. I make sure my face is looking nice and my hair's done, nails done, so it's a different type. It's not like that generation that just like, oh, I'm old, there's no need to take care of myself. So we can
Mm-mm,
compete, with some of these younger girls. Some of these young girls looking older than us now. Come on.
yeah. So it's none of that going on with Gen X at all.
Yeah.
Have you seen Candy from Escape?
Yeah, but Candy Burrows, yeah.
She looks. I didn't even know she's like 52.
Candy's not 59. Candy's in her mid 40s.
No, she's in her
Let
50s.
me look her up right now. Hold on. You can still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Come on.
Let's double check that because I think I saw somebody post something about her and they were saying Candy looking good at 50. I'm like, damn,
She might be
50?
closer to there, but I think she's in her mid to late 40s. Yeah, Candy's in like at least like 40, no younger than 45. But she looks phenomenal. I mean, look at Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore looks phenomenal.
Yeah, Kenya's beautiful.
Kenya always been beautiful. She's 52. She'll be 52 in January, or she made 52. No, she made 51 this year. So she'll be 52 in is I know that they do little Botox and little stuff, but they still look phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's not just the women that are famous, because I don't want people to think that, oh, you bring
Right.
it up, famous women, they got money, of course they're gonna look good. Hell, like I said, regular women walking around
Yes.
here.
Yes. And let me tell you something. I am a fiend. Like, I'm very into skincare. I think I have really nice skin. A lot of people always compliment me. I really take care of my skin. I drink a lot of water. I do go for walks. I try to do my little yoga and exercise in the house, or go to the gym. So I mean, a lot of us, we're more educated and more aware of nutrition now. We're more aware
Mm-hmm.
of the dangers of certain bad habits. We're
Yeah,
more aware.
and now we're taking our collagen supplements and
Exactly, the
things that
collagen.
our mothers and grandmothers didn't do. So Gen
Right.
X has really done a great job of growing old with grace.
Grace, yeah, absolutely. Growing old, gracefully aging, and we're putting the work in to be more more virile, more youthful, and we're trying to we're going out with a bang, right? We're trying to not go out decrepit and looking haggard and just worn out and stuff. And a lot of us Gen Xers, if you're single, and I'm just be honest, Faith, a lot of us who are single are happier. We're not in these
Hmm.
horrible non-reciprocal one-sided relationships. If you're like single, I don't have, you might get lonely sometimes. You might feel a little dangerously horny at sometimes, but you know what, Faith, you still, you get up every day, you wash your ass, you go to work, you go hang out with your girls, you go out for drinks.
Hmm.
I just came from the Caribbean a couple of weeks ago. You're still enjoying yourself. You're not. They have this narrative, the manosphere red pill, like we're dying alone and we're so. No, I just need a man. We in the house. I just need a man. I'm so
And the
lonely.
very person that was doing the most talking about dying alone died alone.
Died alone, exactly. And not only that, there's vibrators. I mean, it's safe sex. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
Girl.
we're good. We're Gucci. Like we're enjoying ourselves. We chilling. We sipping our wine, watching our favorite reality shows. And we get just enjoyment. We're not
Yeah,
dying.
and Tia, to be honest with you, not only are we happier alone, but we're also getting married at an older
They
age.
are. A friend of mine just got married. She's 48. She's gorgeous. She got married to a guy that was 35. Actually.
Hmm.
Yep.
I told you, like I said, the Gen X women are winning.
Yeah, they are. They are, and like I said, if they're a Gen Xer that didn't let life defeat them or had some guy break them down so bad, and you take care of yourself, you're eating right, you're getting some kind of physical activities, you're taking care of your skin, you putting some effort in your appearance, you cultivating yourself, you're making yourself, appealing and stuff like that. It's a lot of young guys. Like, I mean, I've had compliments from younger guys. I'll just put it that way. We won't go into details. They compared me to some young girls. They said, "Listen, you winning in certain areas." So it's like it's a different time, and it's not depressing. It's not bad. As like I said, as long as you keep yourself up and put a little bit of work, put a little bit of work into it, cultivate yourself. You could be with you could be with a guy even a little younger than you and stuff like that. Like I said, I have a little young maintenance guy, so and
Absolutely.
I have he's obviously of good age. I mean, he's in his 20s, but you know
But Tia, we all had that little maintenance guy,
yeah,
when we were
exactly.
single. you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. I'm single. I'm not. He take care of the maintenance. We go out. We have fun. He does he maintenance. He take care of what he has to take care of, and and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. To be honest with you, you know what I mean.
No, there isn't anything wrong with that. Anything that a grown consenting adult does,
Exactly,
that's their business.
exactly.
Because these guys, they do not apologize for what they do.
Oh no, and then the thing about it. Oh, I'm gonna tell you something like how weird they are. So I was just coming from outside today, and I came in. I went to the supermarket to grab a couple of items, and so I'm walking. So maybe about 20 feet ahead of me is a bunch of black males, and they had like some Latino girls, some exoticals out, pretty girls. And the guy, he caught my eye, he caught my face, he looked at me, I looked at him. I have a smile on my face. He looked at me, and it's like they're so pathetic. He's young. This is off the cuff from the older guys. It shows you like they don't know how to love. They don't have emotional maturity or emotional intelligence, and they don't know how to treat women. These Gen Xers, these Z's, and these millennials. So the guy's looking at me like he wants a response out of me. He wants to trigger me. Like, Look what I'm doing. I'm next to this preference, this non-black woman. And I'm like, what is, I thought it was weird. Like, I thought it was odd, but it's not the first
Yeah, they
time.
they they want to knock you down a peg. Like I was coming
Right.
out of the grocery store and
I
I
don't,
was just minding my own business. Like you said, you were minding your own business.
yeah, and I don't
And
know.
every single time they want to interject themselves into
Mhm.
your space.
Right, and it's like he's vying for my attention to see him with her, and I just walked by, didn't give him no eye contact, and just smile. I could see him in my peripheral, but the fact is like he want to flex that oh, look at me with my non-black woman. It's like, or it's like this weird thing with them. It's like that's why I don't take them seriously. You only good for one thing if you're young, and I don't see them as just via. I just don't see them as good candidates for mates. Even if you
Mm-mm.
know,
And the thing about it is, they'll be with those women, but they're craning their neck to look at me, or they're craning their neck to look at you. And
it's
I've experienced that on numerous occasions.
and that's
Where,
exactly what he did. Yeah, he's like
yeah,
breaking his neck. I'm gonna look at you, but I want you to see me with this. Like you're flexing. You want to say, "Listen, black woman, look at this. I'm with this preference." Why are we always in your head, in your space? Why do we carry so much? Why do we take up so much space in your head? Like, just be with your preference. Be with whoever you want to be with. I don't even know you. Why are you flexing that you're with this girl? Like, he just kept trying to get my gaze. He wanted me to see him. Like, listen, well, look what I got. I don't know you. Why would I care? And like with the older ones, it's like they can't even do that. That's why they're so angry and such angry birds and curmudgeony people.
oh no, the older guys in their 50s are the worst.
That's why they, because they can't do that, because the young girls are not. They like, if I'm gonna be with somebody, you broke, I might as well be with a young broke guy, right? Why would I be with an old head broke, a broke old head? I could be with a broke young guy close to my age that'll blow my back out. Why would I?
Exactly.
Exactly. That's how they.
And that's how I feel about a guy that's in his 60s. Like I'm in my 40s.
Me
Why would I
too.
get with somebody that's my parents' age? Like, dude, if you're in your 60s, I need to be spoiled and pampered. Okay, I need to be in a house. I need to have a brand new car.
Exactly.
I need something that's going to justify why I'm with you.
Exactly. Going on trips, traveling. You know, going to take love is not, people say love is conditional, believe it or not, it's very conditional. You want someone attractive on your arm, whether she's young or older, and a lot
Hmm.
of them too stupid to realize when you get with an older woman, she's there because she wants to kind of be there more or less. With the younger girls, she looking, I promise you're doing stuff for her, she still got a young guy on her side, like she's messing with a young guy. Her desire is to be with a guy her age.
But
So
see, that's the reason why it's so important for the younger generation of women to know their worth
exactly.
and know what the worth of things are and how money makes the world turn.
Yes.
If you're with a guy and he's in his 60s and he's getting a pension, okay, his pension is only going to be so much. What did he do before he got that pension? Was he a
Right.
mailman? Was his job making about 80 to 60 to 80,000?
Right.
Okay, that pension is only going to probably be about 40, 50. I guarantee.
Right. It depends on what he got to. If he got the IRA, the 401k, it depends on if he diversified his money. Did he have stocks? Like my brother, right? My eldest brother, he's my half brother. My father's much older than me. He was like an older man with my mom. My mom was 27. My dad was almost 50. And so my oldest brother, my dad had him at 15, so he'll be 81 this year. He's a millionaire, but he worked for General Motors for 40 years, 40 plus years. He diversified his money. He's a baby. I guess he's a baby boomer because he was born in the 40s. Um, he diversified his portfolio, his investments. He has stock in Ford Motors because he was there many years ago for a long time. He has all kinds of stocks and stuff. So he's basically a millionaire off his stocks, not even from his the salary that he acquired. But he's retired. So my point is, these dudes, these old head, these Gen X's, they don't have nothing. They have nothingness. And like I said, if they had gotten regular jobs and wasn't running these streets and wasn't on Peter Pan time and on perpetual boyhood, they would have in back in the 80s, if they were working in the 80s and 90s, the 401k doesn't exist. I think it's a 401 402 now. They would have had money there. They could have did an IRA. They could have did what was the other one? It's a few of them back in those days
But
that they just
there's not very many black men doing that. Like you said, for the most part, I would say that there's probably maybe about 2% that fall into that category.
right, very small, very small numbers percentage that actually paid attention, listened. And my brother, he listened to those Jewish dudes. Like they was like, you need to do this, you do it. And he did it 40, he did it like 60 years ago. And it paid off. He's 81, but he has like a portfolio over $1 million. So like my point I'm trying to say is that he can get it. My brother is very handsome, even though he's 81. He still got some looks, and he works out every day. He rides his bike. He goes swimming every day. He eats healthy. He don't abuse drugs or alcohol. So he's living his cognition is sharp. He would do well getting a Gen X or even a younger girl, and they would be happy. He owns his own home for many years. He has luxury. He has a luxury car. Like he
Right,
could.
but he has the money and the means to spoil a woman.
Exactly. He's with a little Asian lady right now. So I told him be careful. but yeah, um he could do that. You know what I mean? Like he can do, these dudes don't have nothing this. You have absolutely nothing. Some of you living off of social security. You know what I mean? Like they don't.
Yeah, and they think that this is supposed to be attractive to the younger millennial and the Gen Z. And
Yeah,
they're just looking at that like I could do that by myself without even having to touch your old cruddy penis.
exactly. And not only that, Faith, um 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 damn, I just lost the thought. No, I mean, yeah, they're not gonna get them. They're not gonna get these young girls, and I don't understand. But what they do, like I said, I think I was said in the comments, what these old heads do, they indoctrinate these young boys. Yeah, these young bitches, they ain't shit. They all hoes. Treat them bad. Treat them horribly. And a lot of these young head dudes, they don't have fathers in their lives, right? Their fathers, they don't have someone that was a consistent male male guidance. So they listen to these dudes on the or that's hanging out. So, but they'll tell these young boys to treat these girls bad, and they'll do it, and then the young girl, she all broken up and trauma and issues
But
and
they're telling them to treat these young girls bad because they're angry at these young girls because the young girls are not choosing them.
right. But what they do, so they don't have money, so then they'll come around. So after that they done broke up, the young girl with the young guy, he'll come around the corner and be like, you know what, young lady, you don't need that young boy. They don't know how to treat you. You need an older man. You need a good
Mm-hmm.
you need a man. You need a mature man. You need an older man. I'll love you and tell you. They don't know how to, even though he told the young boy to treat her bad, because he knew the probability he can't get her on his own, on his just off his financially, his looks or nothing. He could get her because she's wounded and broken.
You know what? My daughter came to me and told me that happened to her.
Yeah.
She said she was out with her boyfriend. She was at the bank and she was putting money into one of her accounts. My
Hmm.
daughter has multiple bank accounts. Like I teach my kids about investing. So while she
Exactly.
was in there, this older guy that was a security guard in there was trying to, talk to her. But
Right.
my daughter is not attracted to older guys, and
Right.
plus she got her own bag.
Right.
So because my daughter did not want to talk to him and he saw that she was with her boyfriend, my daughter left, went to the bathroom. I don't know what happened, but her boyfriend came back to her and said, that old dude tried to tell me to pimp you out.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They indoctrinate these. This is what's happening. They indoctrinate these young boys to treat these girls horribly because they can't get them. You don't want. They don't. Your daughters, girls, your daughter's age don't desire them. You wouldn't. They wouldn't give them the time of day, and then try to indoctrinate these boys. Yeah, she probably made up some stuff, saying this. Oh, she yeah, pimp her out. because he can't obtain her. So he said, you know what? I'm gonna be an agent of chaos, and I'm gonna destroy this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They're agents
But
of
you know,
chaos.
thank God that my daughter, had was with a young man that was smarter than that,
Right.
and
Good
he
for her.
peeped the game.
Right.
But
That,
I couldn't believe that this older guy that's the same age as me would do
right.
some stuff like that.
Oh, because
But
they're
then
good.
they'll turn around. But see, they're actually jealous of the young men,
Yeah.
that would be their son's age. But they'll
Hmm.
tell us that we're jealous of our daughters.
I know.
But aren't you hating on your sons?
You are but yeah, by virtue they're hating on their sons, and they're bitter. They're the bitter ones. They're the bitter ones. I mean, I'm not saying there's no bitter black women, but they're the bitter. They're the jealous ones, and they know that they one foot in the grave. Most of them, a lot of them got all these health issues, problems. If it's not health issues, and they feel like it's too late for them. It's too late for them
Mm-hmm.
to catch up to everybody else, and it's not really too late, to be honest, Faith. It's just that they're too lazy, too ignorant, and too entitled to level themselves up. Even at in their 40s and 50s, they could still level themselves up. Samuel L. Jackson didn't get he really didn't get more fame. He was on drugs and everything beforehand. He didn't really get a lot of fame until his 40s. He leveled him. He got himself cleaned up. He started acting more, and he leveled himself up. Because Samuel L. Jackson's in his 70s.
Yeah, but these older guys are not going to
They're
do
not.
that.
They're
They're
not going to
they're
put the work
not.
in. They're not going to put the work in.
Instead, they're going to try to tell
Destroy.
the women to lower their standards,
Hmm.
or like you said, become an agent of chaos in their sons' relationships.
Yeah. Be an agent. Yeah, treat her. They hoes ain't shit. She gonna leave you. She probably fucking these young girls. Saying probably the worst thing. And if you get the wrong kid, and he internalized that, he might believe it. And then next you know, he's not. He's putting hands and feet on her, speaking to her in a demeaning, disrespectful way, cheating on her. They'll do it because they can't have the girl and they can't compete with the young boys. They're agents of
Hmm.
chaos. They're agents of chaos. They can't compete with the young guys that sons and the young dudes their sons age
But
because
don't you think it's ironic that they would tell us to be better examples for the younger generation coming behind us, and tell the younger generation of women to be better than us, but
yeah.
they will not do that with their sons?
No, they won't. Oh no, it's a very huge double standard and a BS double standard. You like I was watching something. I was strolling through YouTube, and one guy on the podcast said like, "Yeah, teacher, everything is like teach your daughter to do this. Teach your daughter not to have sons with babies with dusties. No, teach your sons to not sling their penis all over the place and to use condoms and that their sperm is precious. Yes, I
Right.
agree. Teach your daughters that your womb is precious and not to gamble it with anyone. But teach your sons that their sperm is precious and they don't want to have and shouldn't have sling their penis all over the place. To have babies with just anybody or lay down or stop laying down with women you wouldn't want to have a child with. Teach your sons to be better. Teach your better sons to to focus on leveling up, getting their life together, and not chasing women all day long and having unprotected sex with them. Teach your son that he should use condoms. Tell your son when he hits that certain age where it's legal, go get put some of your sperm on ice and get a vasectomy. And then when you're ready to get married and have a family, you can reverse that vasectomy or use whatever sperm is on ice. Tell him to do that. Tell him to have some
Exactly.
agency over his. Tell him to have self control and stop being impulsive.
Right. And tell him that he does not have to sit up here and depend on a woman for
Right.
birth control. That
Exactly.
I hate the when men give each other that message of accepted. What CK said it best. He used to say this all the time. I think he said learned helplessness, accepted powerlessness. This is what black men teach each other when they say, "Oh, well, you got to depend on her to, be on birth control. Is you don't have to be on,
Right.
you don't have to do anything for yourself."
Right. Like it's all on the woman and it's crazy. And even financially, stop living. You need tell your daughter, tell your nieces, your whatever. Stop playing house with these men. When you play house, you give them wifey benefits without them being a husband. So there's no reason.
Exactly.
There's no reason to marry you, because if you play in house, you're gonna fall into your femininity. You're gonna do most of the cleaning and cooking. Even if he helps a little bit, you're gonna do most of it. And a lot of times it's not 50-50. You'll be paying because black women are more educated. They have better jobs and they seek higher. They're always trying to level up and move up in a position. So if she's going to be paying 70-30, or she might be paying 100%, he living in there. He's not going to marry you because he already got a wife without being a husband, and sometimes not barely being a boyfriend. Women, black young
And
girls,
and and
stop.
and let me
Go
just
ahead.
cut you off there because I want to make this point. But yeah, you're absolutely right. She's going to be paying half to be a slave.
Yeah,
Paying half to do slave labor. And here's where it doesn't make sense. If you're a young woman, you're having the babies. You
right,
need a man that's going to be capable of paying all those bills without your help,
right,
because you're going to have to go and be off work to have them babies. And if
right.
he's dependent on your income to help him come up with half to pay bills, then guess what? There's not going to be nobody there for them babies.
That's struggle love. That's struggle love, poverty dick. And you, and the fact of the matter is that um um the fact of the matter is that um um no one wants that. Why would you gamble with your woman? And that's another thing. Black women, we need to start teaching our daughters, and nieces and whatever, that you don't want to attach yourself to someone that you know is not going to do the right thing. You once you have a baby with a guy, you're a permanent side chick to him now. Once you have a baby with a guy, a lot of these black men, unfortunately, I hate to say, you're gonna have to deal with him for the next 21 years or more, right? You're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
deal with him, and unfortunately, it's a vicious cycle of dysfunction because a lot of women, not you, but some women, they'll have a baby with a dude, he'll abandon her, it'll get too much for him. And next thing you know, you looking at this little, because this girl, I was reading something, and she said, she's dark skinned and her mother is light skinned, and her mother treats her really poorly and bad and blah 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 and all this stuff. And a lot of times it's because she treats you bad because you remind her of that daddy. You look like him, you probably resemble him, and she didn't expect to be by herself. She didn't expect to be in it by herself alone in the struggle. So what happens, sometimes women, they'll mistreat those children that look like these daddies. And it's not even just that. You don't want to be put yourself in a position where you're attached to this dude. You don't want to be groveling and going to court trying to get child support from somebody when you could hold off and find someone who not just don't need you but wants you. That's why you don't
Mm-hmm.
play house. You don't shack up, because I know when the thinking, oh, we'll live together, we'll split the bills, we'll save money. Each of us are saved, but you're gonna wind up. He'll help out for a while, but then you're gonna be paying more of the bills because a lot of black men, I hate to say it, Faith, they
But you know
can't.
what? I'm gonna tell you where that 50-50 thing makes sense. And there is a time when it does make sense.
Yes, it does.
Now, if you are not having children
Right,
anymore or can't have children anymore, you're older, you're more, settled in, then yeah, it makes sense to be 50-50.
right. I agree. If we both 50-50, that's fine. I never knocked 50-50, but a lot of times black women are paying more because we make higher incomes, we're consistently employed. With black men, they go in and out of employment because a lot of them, they don't have the social skills or the mental capacity to keep jobs. And then the ones that do, they have other baby mamas. They have child support. So his 50% is reduced. And the sad part
Mm-hmm.
is that you're gonna be playing house with this dude, paying 50% or more, and then come home to a second shift. So now you got to cook, clean, laundry, and if you're a young girl and you wind up having a baby, now you got to bathe them,
and
feed
and
them,
and and,
homework.
and you're absolutely right. If you're gonna do 50-50, make sure it's 50-50 across the board. And that's
Yes,
not just with the bills, but also with household duties as well.
exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like he got to throw a broom and a mop across that floor and get dinner on the table at least 2-3 times a week Like I can't do it all. Like, and the reality is that young girls need, and I'm not judging girls because you can fall in love, you make a mistake, but teach them early. You know what my sister told me when I was 11, Faith, ain't no baby gonna make any man stay where he don't want to be. She told me that when I was 11. My sister is like 25 years older than me. She's passed, but she told me, she looked at me and she said, "Let me tell you something. Remember this. Don't never forget this. Ain't no baby gonna make any man stay where he don't want to be." And she said, and I've also, my brother who's 81. He told me, when you open up your legs to a man, he won. The ball is in his court. It's up to him if he want to see you. I got a lot of life. I'm the youngest, so I'm the youngest. I'm the baby, so I got a lot of life lessons from older siblings. It was a beneficial for me to be the youngest. It's not like I didn't make my own mistakes, but the reality, they helped me think about what to do. I mean, like what to do and what not to do. And you're right. No baby makes any man stay where he don't want to be, and I don't. We need to teach our daughters that, like our daughters, our granddaughters, or whatever, our nieces, because you attach yourself to that dude, and it's a gamble. It's like rolling the dice, and stop. And I understand people living together as a young age with no children. Oh, we pay half, we save money, but sometimes if it depends on what you want from that relationship. So like say your daughter, for instance, she's with a dude, she's not ready to have children, she's not ready to get married, she's 21, 22. Okay, living with a dude 50-50 might not be bad because he may not be your life mate. He may not be the one you build a family with. So maybe for you anticipate we be together for a few years, then that's beneficial. But if you're thinking like, oh, I've been loved, I want him to eventually be my life partner, and he's getting all the benefits of your daughter cooking, cleaning, do it, because women, we can
Well,
afford
see,
it.
no. I don't think any young woman, and I'm just gonna put it to you like this: the younger you are, the more fertile you are, the more valuable you are.
Yes.
I'm just gonna put it like that.
Yes.
Any young woman, any man that you get with, he's gonna have to be able to foot all them bills because he's gonna want you to do majority of the work.
Right.
And there's going to be a more demand on you sexually because you're young and spry.
Right. Right.
So with all these demands that he's going to have for you, and there will be lots of demands,
Right.
he's going to have to be able to afford them demands. But
Yeah.
as we get older and
Mhm.
you're with, the guy that you're, aging into life with, the demands are not as high anymore because
Right.
both of you guys are, at an advanced age.
Right. But realistically, Faith, a lot of these guys are not measuring up financially. So we could say that she could ask for that, but I mean, I was in a situation at one time in my 20s where I was dating someone and he paid all the bills, but he also slept with everybody and cheated on me.
That's true. But girl, oh, we've been on here like over 2 hours actually. Shit, hell. I'm starting to get sleepy. Y'all done talked me into being able to finally carry my behind the bed, y'all.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for listening to my rant.
No
And
problem.
I enjoy speaking to you always.
Well, you know what? You're always welcome, Tia. I welcome your fresh point of view. To
Yes.
be honest with you, you're one of the few people that come up here and actually contribute to the actual topic. You'd be
Yes.
surprised with the people that come up here and they have a totally different agenda. They want to
Yeah.
talk about everything else but what the topic is. So I appreciate you for coming up here and
No.
actually talking about the topic.
Absolutely, but no problem. I don't want to derail your topic, but it's always awesome to talk to you, and I want you to get some beauty rest, stay beautiful, and I wish you blessings and happiness, good health, and I see you on the next live.
All right. Peace, sis. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Bye bye.
All right, guys. So now I'm going to go ahead and do like I always do. I'm going to start it the way that I finished it. and that is with myself. I want to thank everybody that came in here and was up late with me tonight. Let me see here. I always do the whole who was the first person to comment, and it looks like Demetrius Higashikata was my first person in the chat to say, hey, what's up? So, you know what, Demetrius? I'm going to go ahead and give you your standing ovation. Round of applause for being the first person in the. As always. Oh, it was so nice. I had to do it twice. All right. So, oh, damn. Let me go ahead and I thought I was on the comment section. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming in, listening to the show. Tia, brought in some beautiful talking points, and she made a lot of logical sense, guys. So, shout out to Tia as well. I really appreciate chopping it up with you tonight, sis. And as always, going back to the original topic, young women, you are free to make the decisions for yourself as to who you want to be with. If you want to be with somebody older, you do that. If you want to be with somebody younger than you can do that too. If you want to be with somebody that's within your own age range, you do that. You have freedom, you have opportunity. You do not have any of the old hangups that your mothers, your grandmothers, and your great grandmothers had. You younger millennials and Gen Zers, you young ladies, the world is your oyster. So why not take advantage? Don't let anybody try to shame you into lowering your standards or shame you into making a decision that you're not ready to make. If you're not ready to get married, you can do a Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey was not ready to settle down and get married, and she made the decision that was best and right for her. Nobody's going to jump out of the woodwork and beat her over the head with a bat because she made that decision. And I don't care how many shaming videos older, bitter men make about her. She's a young woman that decided what was right for her, and kudos to her for doing that. But I am starting to see now more than ever, there's a lot of younger women that are just not feeling the 45-year-old guy that wants to, try to, convince her that being with him is the way, the truth, and the light to her happiness. Your happiness is what you define it to be. So make sure that you're making decisions based off what it is that you want and not what somebody else is trying to control you to do. And with that, this has been the Faith Factor with another late night chit chat. I appreciate you. And if you're catching this on the replay, please support the video by hitting the like button. Also, if you want to give me a what do you call it? A super love chat. My super love chat is active on all my videos. Show your sister some love. And with that, I gotta say, peace. Smooches to all of you. I love you, and I'm out. Holla.